shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hid in a field, which when a man found, he hideth, and for joy thereof goeth, and selleth all that he hath in that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant man seeking goodly pearl, who when he found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had, and bought it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea, and gathered of every kind, which when it was full, they drew to shore, and sat down, and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away. And seek not ye what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth ye have need of these things. But rather seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, whom rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutations to Hopeful Lake out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the Hopeful Lake, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. And what I wanted to get into this morning, I was watching some videos, some little documentaries, dealing with Nimrod. And when you go into it, all right, it kind of expounds, on Nimrod and how he ruled, when he was in power, because the Bible, doesn't, go in extensively, on the rulership of Nimrod. It's very little content. So when you go into particular history and it goes into, Nimrod's kingdom, all right, and what it represented, it's the same thing that we see happening in the earth today. When scriptures talk about Esau, Edom being the daughter of Babylon, it mainly speaks about what their rebellion. All right. Now, Elisha Wamba always goes into it. He goes into those cities and the names of those cities, and they pretty much paint the picture. One thing about the scriptures, you can look into the Hebrew words in particular scriptures, in particular verses, and it'll tell a story. It'll kind of fill in the lines, what was going on during that time. All right. And these little documentaries that I got, they just kind of bring life, around, the story of Nimrod. And it shows you that the spirit that Esau Edom is in today is the spirit that Nimrod was in, man. All right. That rebellious spirit. You see, there's nothing new under the sun, as the scriptures say. All right. Let's get those precepts real quick. There's nothing new, under the sun, all right, which is on earth, what we seeing today, all right. Esau Edom is just the latest heathen to try this, man. He has this technology, all right. So when you go to Ecclesiastes 1:9, it says the thing that have been It is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. All right. So what we're seeing playing out today, this is no new thing under the sun. All right, on the earth. This man trying to put everyone under the same banner. All right, one world order, a rebellion against a high power. You see, the worship of Satan and idols. This is nothing new. All right, it's just the latest version of it. It says, verse 10 says, "There anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new. It have been already of old time, which was before us." All right. So what we're seeing now, it has been of old time, and the Most High, all right, just as He confounded, ancient Babylon, through the languages. All right, He brought down the Babylon Empire through the Persians and Medes. All right, this Babylon is gonna be destroyed with fire, man, completely removed off the earth. You see, and not inhabited, man. So we're just seeing the same thing play over and over. It's just a different destruction, man. All right, different people. All right, but the same play. Now, I wanna go ahead and get one of these videos. I got two, just kind of cross reference and reinforce some points. So I got two videos I want to show. Now I'm gonna start out with this one.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
In painting a more complete analysis, evil is said to take place in many forms.
All right, so let me share this screen. All right, so this first little documentary. Now the first 10 minutes, he kind of he going into Nimrod, and that's what we're gonna focus on. Then later on, he kind of get into madness, with them different little books or whatever. But when you go into, the secular history, you can extrapolate, all right, in the spirit, things that pretty much drive points home in the scriptures. But then you have to know, all right, when they doing too much within these little documentaries. So we're gonna deal with like the first half of this video, then we're gonna watch another video, and we're just gonna compare the two, man, and you're gonna see it's the same energy in the earth today, all right, from when Nimrod was ruling, man. Yeah. So let me so yeah, I'm finna let it play, what I'm saying, and, like use post precepts, you hear some that the spirit give you a precept, post precepts, and we just gonna go into it.
In the Bible, and often these examples can be quite transparent. But there appear to be many facets of evil as a concept, and the Bible demonstrates these aspects throughout its many characters. But there are some entities in the Bible that don't really get to show off the magnitude of their wickedness, or perhaps even the virtuous traits that an evil character might come to exhibit. Therefore, various apocrypha are available to help us fill in the gaps and assist us in painting a more complete analysis of some of the big and small names that are mentioned in Scripture. One such name that I hear thrown about from time to time is Nimrod, and he's a perfect example of a character who doesn't get much content in the Bible, but certainly earns a mention from his exploits in non-canonical stories. As we'll discuss in today's video, there can be two ways to identify Nimrod: either a man who was righteous, or an archetype of an idolater, a tyrant, and a truly wicked person.
Now dealing with, like I say, with Nimrod, Esau, he's gonna try to justify Nimrod, and he has all these different, doctrines and so-called, findings out there, as if Nimrod was right. But when you go into the Bible, all right, you know that this heathen, all right, was rebelling against Yahweh Bashem Shai, man. But you have these, how Esau do, man. He always tries to cause confusion. All right. But Nimrod was wicked. He ruled in wickedness, and he was he was the pretty much the leader he was the leader in the earth of a rebellion against Yahweh Bashem Shai, man. You know?
In many Hebraic writings, it is not uncommon after all to hear him referred to as Nimrod the Evil. As far as the Bible goes, his very first mention comes in the Table of Nations, back in Genesis 10, where we are told that he was born the son of Cush, the grandson of Ham, and the great-grandson of Noah, and that he would grow up to become a fierce warrior and a notable hunter. We also understand that Nimrod would be a king, a ruler of various great cities, of which some, if not all, he had built from the ground up. The Bible tells us Cush was the father of Nimrod, who became a mighty warrior on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. That is why it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. The first centers of his kingdom were Babylon, Uruk, Akkad, and Calneh in Shinar. From that land he went to Assyria, where he built Nineveh, Rehoboth, Calah, and Resen, which is between Nineveh and Calah, which is the great city. There exist two opposing interpretations of this passage, those that either promote Nimrod in a complimentary way or paint him as a more gruesome villain. The more flattering version settles on the statement that Nimrod was a mighty warrior and hunter before the Lord, suggesting that he was an exemplary figure in that he was strong, bold, mighty, and exhibited all the characteristics that a man could want. He is also painted in this viewpoint as a grand expansionist, one who some might say the Bible celebrates in the listing of the cities he either conquered or created. But the other, perhaps more generally accepted viewpoint regards Nimrod as a most dastardly character, an opinion cemented by his affiliation with the kingdom of Babylon, where the first mortal rebellion against God was thought to have started in the creation of the Tower of Babel. This structure was also thought to have been commissioned by Nimrod in some beliefs, not as a testament to God, but as a way for man to reach the heavens and the Lord's level, demonstrating Nimrod's attitude in considering himself just as worthy as God himself. In this variation, the simile in the Bible that, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord, is not as complimentary as one might think, but instead is a sign that Nimrod killed before the Lord, and that he put his thirst for blood above the presence of God. Furthermore, it is believed here that Nimrod wasn't a hunter of game, but instead a hunter of men. This might be substantiated by his conquest of many kingdoms, in that it was his ruthlessness and brutality that consolidated his power across so many regions. In fact, it becomes clear that his dominion over these regions was so absolute that the land of Assyria is later dubbed as the land of Nimrod in the book of Micah. Because of Nimrod's undeniable success in his conquests, it is believed he inspired others not to trust in God, but to instead trust in their own abilities to get what they want. and that if a man wanted something, he had the power to take it, with or without God's blessing.
Does that sound familiar? All right. Does that energy and that mindset sound familiar? You know? When I was listening to it, I was like, this Esau Edom is coming in that energy, man. Now, let's do some comparison. Let's go get some precepts. Let's do some comparison. We're gonna come back to the video. But you see that same energy is alive today through Esau Edom. He comes in that same energy of what, man? Leading the earth in the all-out rebellion against you. How about Shemal Shah? All right? Just as Nimrod did, that self-worship. All right? Don't we see that today? Self-worship. People, believe that they can go as other doctrines to be blessed, and it's the same thing today, man. All right. And then it says what? He was a hunter, and what? They don't believe that he was hunting, game. All right. But what? Hunter of souls, man. Hunter of men. Just as today. Now, let's deal with that. Let's do the comparison, man. Now, when you go to Genesis 27, all right, this is Genesis 27. No, 25. So like, go 25. All right. When you go to Genesis 25, dealing with Esau. All right. This is Genesis 25 and 27. It says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. You see that? And Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. Now let's get this word cunning. And if a brother could, put the definition of cunning up on the comment board on the Google, see what it gives us. On what it's gonna say in the Hebrew. A cunning hunter, man. All right. Now Esau hunts game. Well, see, what does he hunt more than anything, man? Souls, man. All right. And it says cunning in the Hebrew. That word is like Yahweh. All right. Yahweh. And it says to know. All right. It says to know by experience. And it says to know how, to be skillful in, to have knowledge, to be wise. And this man is a cunning hunter of the souls of men. Look how he has turned out the earth, all right, to Satanism, man. Look at the modern woman. Look at the modern nigga, the coon niggas, man. Christians. Like there was a cunning hunter. That man hunted for people's souls through these philosophies, man. You see? He's skillful at it, man. But here it is, he has people thinking, like now, with this whole Christmas thing, he has people thinking that they're worshiping, the birth of the Messiah. But this, even Christmas goes back to Nimrod. He has people worshiping a satanic holiday, thinking that they're worshiping something righteous, man. Why? Because he's skillful in hunting the souls of men. All right. And they attribute it to Nimrod. You see that? Let's get another one. Yep, the water brother. This is the brother Rakai Yasha'Allah, and it says cunning. It says having or showing skill in achieving one's end by deceit or invasion, man. You see that? Hey, because even when I don't know if you brothers and you few sisters seen that documentary about crack cocaine, the one Eliasha Wamba mentioned, but I watched it. But it shows you how this man, all right, was a cunning hunter in the way that he put that drug amongst Jake, and pretty much took the souls of people, man. All right. You have a generation of parents, aunties, fathers, brothers, sons, daughters that completely abandoned their family for a drug, man. That was a move of a hunter, man, that did that. All right. That was a cunning hunting skill that man did with crack, man. All right, and that's just one of them. Now, um, let's get that in Psalms. All right. This is Psalms. Jump down. All right. This is Psalms 10 and 8. It says, He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. What are the attributes of a hunter? He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. All right. Into his net. And he has drug a lot of people into these nets, man. Like I say, Christianity is a net. All right. Street culture, thug culture, thought culture, misindependent, all those are nets. Those are mindsets that he has put a net around your mind, man. You see? And when you go into get that word net real quick, and then we're gonna get a few more and catch. Net. All right, you go to the word net, it's Rashath. All right, and it says, now I want to get this point. It says, it's a trap for man. You see that? It's a trap for man of leaders leading people to sin. And doesn't he set up leaders that look like, all right, Jake, to call Jake to do what? Be calling that net. Lead Jake to sin, man. That's one of his tactics, man, to get someone that looks like you, all right, to exalt a wicked lifestyle and make it seem as if, it's something good, something righteous, and the masses of our people are caught up in that net, man. All right. Because you look at it, was all a transgression. It was all a progression, that got worse and worse. When you look at go to the rap, it was NWA. All right. Then what you had the Tupac and the Luke, you had the Luke. All right. It was the freaky deaky spirit, man. That me so horny spirit. Then you had the Tupacs and the Biggie. All right. Then what happened? You had the Jay-Z's. You see? And then what happened? You had the trap culture, Jeezy, T.I., Ross. You see? Then what you have now, man, this metrosexual thing, it was a progression that got closer and closer to Satanism, man. All right. You look at the women of rap, what you first had, Salt and Pepper. They was the first one to really start over sexualizing, the woman. You see? Then you had the Foxy Brown, then you had the Lil Kim, then you had Trina, all right, then you had Nicki Minaj, and now you have Cardi and Megan, man. It was all a progression to Satanism, man, to an all-out rebellion against Yahweh Shema Shai. You see? Well, let's get this in Habakkuk. All right. And that energy that you are a god or a goddess comes from who, man? Esau, Edom. Because on these social medias and, social media played a big part in boosting people's head up as if, they was gods and goddesses, man. All right. Now, this is Habakkuk 1 and 14. This is dealing with, all right, Babylon, man. All right. And it says, and make his men as the fishes of the sea as the creeping things that have no ruler over them. You see that? Esau, Edom pushed that energy that there's no God that can tell you what to do. You know, just as Nimrod was doing. And make his men as the fishes of the sea, which is what? Beasts, man. As the creeping things, beasts. He has everyone on the beast level. You know? That have no ruler over them. It says they take up all men with the angle, they catch them in their net. You see that? And gather them into their drag. Therefore, they rejoice and are glad. Therefore, they rejoice and are glad. You see? These Edomites love the fact that they have the earth under a satanic vibration and a rebellion against Yahweh Shema Shai, man. You know? Like I say, because self-worship is a form of Satanism, man. Someone that's obsessed with themselves, man. All right? And the script say in the last days it will be like this under whose rulership? Esau, Edom. All right? It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For this 2 Timothy 3:1. It says, this know also that in the last day perilous times shall come, which is dangerous. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemer, disobedient, all right, to parents, unthankful, unholy, all right. And this is the behavior of today, but Nimrod was pushing this same energy back then, all right, because niggas make albums boasting, you know. You get the Floyd Mayweather. It's all about boasting, you know. Proud, saying what they did. Look at me. Look what I did. Look what I accomplished. Look what I'm eating right now. Look what I'm taking a vacation there. It's all about boasting and bragging in something, man. You know, no reverence to Yahweh by Shema Shai. No thanks, you know, just for another day to live, man. Thanks, you know. All right. It says without natural affection. Yeah, because the social skills of this society is through, man. Everyone has an agenda, you know. There's very few people that want to see, you know, the good for another person, that genuinely want to see the good of another person, man. For the most part, everybody has some type of secret agenda, man. It said truce breakers, false accusers, incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, man. You see? Despisers of those that are good, man. Anything that seems righteous is an outroar. You know, it's an uproar, man. All right. You speak against wickedness, your counsel. All right. You do something, you know, with integrity, your counsel. You know, it says traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of the Most High, man. And that's the energy that's being pushed under this current rulership of Esau, Edom, man. All right. Now, let's get back to this video, man. But I'll listen to it. I'm like, God damn, this this is goddamn let me see. Let me share this. So lock is tripping like you don't want to load.
We see.
Right.
Real quick.
You ever wondered what actors and actresses do when they have to get in shape really fast for a movie? Because I can promise you,
in painting a more complete analysis of some of the big and small names that are mentioned in Scripture. One such
Yeah, a video and jumped and everything, but we gonna get it back to that point we was at, you know. Even if we had to watch a little bit of it over again, you know. But it's just good to see. It's just in the spirit to see how, you know, it's the same thing happening, man. You know, get a couple of these precepts while I load up. All right. Mm-mm. See what you brother got. All right, this is Yashima, tribe of Judah. This is Isaiah 9:16. It said, "For the leaders of this people cause them to err." All right, and err means to go astray. Go astray from what? The standard of the scriptures, which puts you what? In rebellion. All right, because you go into the word rebellion, re means back, and billion goes into war. All right, so Esau Edom is pretty much on the campaign of leading a war against Yahweh Bashim al Shai. You know, and he's influencing the masses, especially the tribes, to be in rebellion against their own power, man. You see? And it says, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Yeah, because he's leading you in the rebellion against you. How about Shema Shah, which is gonna be, it's gonna end very bad for you, man. All right, a horrible idea. You see? What this man doing is a horrible idea. And people are jumping on board through what? Lust, convenience. All right, that they think they doing something big by you know, they ruling over themselves. You know, they free, they at liberty. You see, to think and move how they want, man. All right, but this is brother Incorruptible Crown for 1 Samuel 15:23 said, "For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as the iniquity of idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he have also rejected thee from being king." Yeah, so rebellion is a sin of witchcraft. All right, because witchcraft is all about a doctrine that's trying to find prosperity. All right, without being obedient to Yahweh Bashim al Shah. That's the really much the terms of Satanism and witchcraft, man. You know, and Esau has made rebellion cute. You see, he has made rebellion cute. You know, all these comedy skits with men wearing dresses. All right, society or women, you know, have this authority. That's a rebellion, man. You see, these different foods that he makes a delicacy, that's an abomination. That's a rebellion. Abortions, all these things. This is rebellion, man. This is what we're living in, the open rebellion against a higher power, man. You know. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see. I just started here.
first century historian Flavius Josephus wrote of this account, saying that Nimrod was born physically gifted in comparison to other men by Nimrod in some beliefs, not as a testament to God, but as a way for man to reach the heavens, and the Lord's level, perhaps more generally accepted viewpoint, regards.
So yeah, I'm just started there. You know, it's gonna kind of reiterate, you know, what we was going over. You know, and just let it play out from there, and then we'll get to the other video, get some more precepts.
Nimrod as a most dastardly character, an opinion cemented by his affiliation with the kingdom of Babylon, where the first mortal rebellion against God was thought to have started in the creation of the Tower of Babel. This structure was also thought to have been commissioned by Nimrod in some beliefs, not as a testament to God, but as a way for man to reach the heavens and the Lord's level, demonstrating Nimrod's attitude in considering himself just as worthy as God himself. In this variation, the simile in the Bible that, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord, is not as complimentary as one might think, but instead is a sign that Nimrod killed before the Lord, and that he put his thirst for blood above the presence of God. Furthermore, it is believed here that Nimrod wasn't a hunter of game, but instead a hunter of men. This might be substantiated by his conquest of many kingdoms, in that it was his ruthlessness and brutality that consolidated his power across so many regions. In fact, it becomes clear that his dominion over these regions was so absolute that the land of Assyria is later dubbed as the land of Nimrod in the book of Micah. Because of Nimrod's undeniable success in his conquests, it is believed he inspired others not to trust in God, but to instead trust in their own abilities to get what they want, and that if a man wanted something, he had the power to take it, with or without God's blessing. First century historian Flavius Josephus wrote of this account, saying that Nimrod was born physically gifted in comparison to other men, and had a strength to him that could not be matched. But instead of paying glory to God, he chose to turn against him, and viewed his advantages as cultivated by himself, and thus owed no one anything.
This game, I'm not ready for it.
He sought to incite this mindset on his own people, and persuaded them not to ascribe to God or to pay homage to him, but instead to believe in their own courage and power to acquire the happiness they sought. Whilst this way of thinking did catch on, Josephus continues that it was facilitated by Nimrod's eventual usurpation of government, that which he used to pressure the devout into seeing things his way, as they became dependent on his power. Josephus continued that the very idea of God seemed to anger Nimrod, and that he felt a desire to take revenge on his creator after he had drowned the world in the flood. In this, the creation of the Tower of Babel was not to reach God, but instead as a reinforcement against a second flood, a tower so tall that the waters could not reach it. The stark character of Nimrod seemed to inspire many of his followers, and his commitment to the building of the tower was total. Josephus proceeds to detail the painstaking efforts taken in building the tower, the materials that were used, and the strict ethic taken to establish its height. Josephus's account then becomes parallel with the Bible, where he tells us that when God saw the tower being built, he did not destroy it or them, because if the flood hadn't scared them, then no other form of vengeance would deter them either. So he caused confusion amongst them instead, implemented a diverse set of language, and prevented the workers from understanding each other. Interestingly, another idea exists from rabbinical commentaries that Nimrod's despising of God did not waver after his men had been cast into confusion, and that he ended up building a chariot that would be carried by birds all the way to heaven, also that he could duke it out with God one-on-one. We see yet again a confirmation of Nimrod's physical prowess in the first book of Chronicles, where we are told Cush was the father of Nimrod, who became a mighty warrior on the earth. Like with the previous example, it can be debated as to whether the adjective mighty or the noun warrior are used as accolades to celebrate Nimrod or as a means to denounce him. The latter appears to be more likely, given that God never seems to endorse Nimrod in the Bible, and appears to directly oppose him by preventing the Tower of Babel from being completed, assuming that Nimrod was the man who authorized its construction, which is often in doubt. One thing that is not in doubt is Nimrod's physical capabilities. In all of the texts available, he is unanimously recorded as a proficient warrior, something that is made evident by his successful conquests. Whilst this may simply be chalked up to genetics, or maybe even a gift from God to test his morality, some Jewish traditions suggest that Nimrod had inherited the garments of Adam and Eve from Cush, and that these garments, having
Yeah, I think that's where he get sideways. So we're gonna stop it, stop it there. Because he's gonna go into all type of Jewish, fables, different things, and different bugged out books, just ran, But the point of it is you see how Nimrod had the energy as if he was gonna go head up with the Most High, man. You know, it's like it was his he had a lust, all right, to try to make it to the heavens, as if he wanted that smoke, man. All right. But the Most High just confounded the language, broke that shit up. And eventually he died off, and yeah, other empires would come in, and it is what it is. But the energy that he came in to try to go heads up with Yahweh Bashem Al Shah, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and cue this other video up. If a brother could post Isaiah 45 and 9. Let's post Isaiah 45 and 9. I'm gonna cue this other video up, and we're gonna go into some more precepts, you know. Say there's nothing new under the sun, And he said he was to the point where Nimrod despised people paying homage, to the Most High, man. Just like Esau Edom, man. You see these videos, the main videos that get took down is the brothers that's prophesying, man. You know? Um, hmm. Yeah, Esau Edom, he hates the praise of Yahweh Shem Al Shai because he wants that praise. He wants that praise.
Challenge yourself to the career you want. Challenge accepted.
Genesis chapter 10. Cush.
All right, this is the brother Yashima tribe of Judah, Isaiah 45 and 9. It says, "Woe unto them that scribeth with his maker." You see, and Nimrod was an example of a man trying to scribe with his maker. He said, "Let the potsherds scribe with the potsherds of the earth." Like, no, you are only on the on the level of deal with other men on earth. All right, Nimrod was a conqueror, just like Esau Edom has been the conqueror in the earth, man. A mighty conqueror. You see, but now he's to the point where like what? Say, I'm dominating men. Say I'm ready to level up. You see, Nimrod had that mind frame, and Esau has that mindset today. Like he ready to level up, man. It says, "Shall the clay say to him that fashioned it, what makest thou?" Or the work, all right, he have no hands. And this is what Esau Edom is doing, all right, because all these heathens that ever came into power, the Most High was just using them for a purpose, man. They was tools. All right. Let's get into some precepts, man. You see that? These empires get proud, not understanding that they're just a tool for the purpose of Yahweh Shem Al Shai. But what happens, they get proud as if, they're the source. You see? As if what they're doing is something, from within them. All right. So let's get some precepts, man. This is Job. And start with this one, Job 21. There's a lot of precepts coming to mind. And we just gonna go through them, man. All right, this is Job 21 and 9. Well, now, start at 13. This is Job 21:13. Said they spend their days in wealth, and then the moment go down to the grave. They YOLO spirit. It says, therefore they say unto the Most High, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit we have if we pray unto him? And this is the energy that he's pushing in the earth. All right, to the point where Jake is in that energy. Because when you go to, I want to say, is it Micah 3? Jake is coming in that same energy, man. All right. I want to say, must be Malachi 3. Let me get that Malachi 3. Because this is Jake talking now. You heard Esau say, what profit is us if we pray unto him? You know? All right. Now, this is Malachi 3:13. It says, your words have been stout against me. You see that? They're rebellion. And Jake's words have been stout against Yahweh Shema Shah, especially in this time, man. Their behavior, you know, has been a complete rebellion against Yahweh Shema Shah. You know, it says, your words have been stout against me, said the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah. Yet ye say, what have we spoken so much against thee? Ye have said, it is vain to serve the Most High. And what profit is it that we keep his ordinance and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah of hosts? You know, and that's the energy that our people come in today. It's vain. They think it serves no purpose to serve and be obedient to Yahweh Shema Shah. Jacob rather chase the bag. Jacob rather get clout. You know, Jacob rather coon his way to the top of, you know, Esau's social, you know, ladder. You know, the woman would rather focus on the career, the hell with her husband and kids, and, you know, focus on her doing her. She doesn't want to fit into the structure of Yahweh Shema Shah. The Israelite man doesn't want to be obedient. You know, he doesn't want to stop committing adultery, man. You know, Jay can't stop getting lined up. They like, look, what profit are we going to get from that? And that energy comes from who? Esau, Edom. And this is their mindset, verse 15. And now we call the proud happy. Yeah, they that work wickedness are set up. Yeah, they that tempt the Most High are even delivered. You see, they're envy of the prosperity of the wicked. They see Esau, Edom, and how he maneuver and how he's, you know, able to prosper in his wickedness. And Jake is conformed to that, man. All right. It's the same energy. When you go to Job, they get rich or die trying spirit, man, which is pretty much throw all your morals out the window and just get rich, man. You see? This is on Job 21:17. Said, how oft is the candle of the wicked? Hold on. I'm gonna read this again, you know, just to reiterate that point. This Job 21:14 said, therefore they say unto the Most High, depart from us. We desire not the knowledge of thy ways. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? Lo, their good is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. You see that? The counsel, what this man plans on doing in the earth is far from a righteous standard, man. You know, verse 17, how often the candle of the wicked put out, and how oft cometh their destruction upon them? The Most High distributed sorrows in his anger, and the Most High is known for destroying wicked kingdoms and empires, man. You see, this is nothing new. All right, but Esau Edom think he has the ups, you know, because he understands prophecy. These elites, they understand prophecy, man. They know who they are. They know what these scriptures mean, man. All right. and him knowing that thinks that he's in some type of position where he can offset what's written, man. You know, that's why when you go into, let's get that hot off. Let's say in Amos, man. Yeah. And go to the book of Amos, chapter 9. All right, and this wicked empire will be blotted out, man. You know, but Esau Edom thinks he's going to upset what's written. No, through. This is Amos 9 and 8. It said, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord, all right, power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I would not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai." So the Most High is known for destroying wicked kingdoms, man. And Esau Edom is not going to be anything different. All right, America, EU, NATO, it's not going to be anything different. It's going to be destroyed just as all these other wicked empires, man. All right. Remember, the Most High swore by itself, you know, he was going to make Basra a waste, man. Just speaking of America. All right, when you go to Psalm 75, all right, and 4, it says, "I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up the horn." Yeah, so the scripture, like I'm telling these niggas, don't try it, man. Most side, I'm telling these niggas, don't try it. You see? It says, "I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up the horn," which is their power. And what is Esau trying to do? Trying to lift up his power. Nimrod was trying to lift his power up to the heavens. You see? But the Most High allowed Esau to put satellites up there. He allowed Esau to get fighter jets, you know, because he said Nimrod had the chariot that he tried to put birds on, you know, and let the birds carry him, you know, to the heavens. You see, that's how proud he had got. Well, see, now the Most High made it real convenient for Esau. He was like, bet, you know, because Esau coming in the same spirit, like he, you know, like he ready to go heads up, man. So the Most High like, bet, I'm gonna let you invent fighter jets, put missiles on them, nukes on them, I'm gonna let you have satellites. I'm gonna give you all type of technology. Since you want to come up here, all right, bring your ass up here, man. You know. And that's when you have a shot. That's when you're gonna see you have a shot back. Like that war in heaven, that's like the Most High saying, well, since you talked all this shit, all this sneak dissing you've been doing, all these little propagandas and getting the people to rebel against me. Well, look, I'm gonna let you get your technology to the point where you can come up, all right, in the sky, all right, to the ship, because you go into the heaven. One of the contents, the definition of heaven is going to the Shemayim, which is the atmosphere. All right. So the Most High said, look, you can come on up here, man. Let's deal. Since you're a God now, we finna see. I'll let you get your little technology, I'll let you do, you got your missiles and your guns and you got your tracking devices and your satellites with lasers on them. All right. So now we finna deal, and that's what we finna see play out, man. The Most High is finna showcase, man, that no matter what level these heathens think they own, they can't deal, man. It ain't no comparison, man. All right. Verse 6, it said, "For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and set up another." And see Esau saying he put himself up, just as Nimrod, he thought he, control his own, power, man. All right. It said, "For in the hand of the Lord there's a cup, and the wine is red, is it full of mixture. He poureth out of the same. But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them." Yeah, see, the Most High, all right, he controls that cup of adversity, the cup of rulership, the cup of captivity. You see? Most High controls that, man, and he passes it to who he wants. And right now, he's finna pass that to Esau Edom, because we drunk it, man. It says, but I will declare forever, I will sing praises to the power of Jacob. All the horns of the wicked also will I cut off, but the horns of the righteous shall be exalted. You see that? The powers of the righteous, beginning with Yahushua, the 144,000, the rest of the elect, and eventually the nation of Israel is going to be that eternal righteous kingdom, man. All right, this is the last one. This is that last open rebellion against Yahweh by Shema Shah, man. Let's get this, and then we'll watch the other video. I'll probably let that play, and he's just gonna go into those cities, Jeremiah 50. All right, so when you go to Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 21, speaking of Babylon, and see what we're like, Nimrod, he, was known for their rebellious spirit. All right, but now in this Babylon, we're going to see what the Most High says about this Babylon. It's Jeremiah 50 and 21. It says, go up against the land of Merathaim, even against it, and against the inhabitants of Pekah, waste and utterly destroy after them, said the Lord Yahweh by Shema Shai, and do according to all that I command thee. And this is Most High pretty much summoning other nations against, Babylon. Now, when you go into that word, Marathon, all right, in Hebrew is Marah, all right, Thayam, Marah Thayam, all right. And when you go into it, what does it mean? It said double rebellion. You see, what we're witnessing is a double rebellion against Yahweh by Shema Shai. You see, and it also goes into double bitterness. All right, because you get that word Amara in the Hebrew, which means bitterness, and you got America, which in the Latin goes into bitterness, because it was named after the Italian map maker Amerigo Vespucius, who's the first one to put, America on the map, as an explorer. But what does it goes into? Double bitterness, double rebellion. You see, in this double bitterness for those who have repented to righteousness is a double bitterness to be here, man. You see, because what we're witnessing a double rebellion. All right, but see, when you go to this other word, all right, let's get this other word, Pakad. Let's get the word Pakad against the inhabitants of Pakad. Now you go to the word Pakad in the Hebrew. All right, it's Pakwayad, which is a visitation. You see, visitation. There's going to be a visitation on this double rebellion. All right, there's about to be a visitation from on high. All right, for this double rebellion, man. So let's go from there. Let's go ahead and play this other video. All right. I think this is like one of them Yahweh Christians, but he is pretty informative though. I think it'll be informative just to see this. Let me share.
Hello and welcome to another teaching from 119 Ministries. Our ministry believes that the whole Bible is true and directly related to our lives today. If you would like to know more about what we believe and teach, please visit us at testeverything.net. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel by hitting the button down below. We hope that you enjoy studying and testing the following teaching. The story of Nimrod is a controversial topic. Most of what we assume to know about Nimrod is from extra-biblical accounts. For those that are interested in learning what the Bible alone teaches about Nimrod, this study might be of some interest. Genesis chapter 10. Cush fathered Nimrod. He was the first on earth to be a mighty man. He was a mighty hunter before Yahweh. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before Yahweh. The beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. From that land, he went into Assyria and built Nineveh, Rehoboth Ir, Calah, and Resen, between Nineveh and Calah, that is the great city. According to verse 8, Nimrod was the first mighty man on earth. This usually denotes some type of strong commanding leadership. The same Hebrew word for mighty is also used in the context of a mighty king, mighty warrior, a chief or military leader, and sometimes as a proud tyrant. The word is also used in reference to Yahweh being mighty. He was said to be a mighty hunter. Given the context, the meaning of the mention of the mighty hunter was likely twofold. As a hunter, his skill was the taking of prey and the laying of snares. That is the literal interpretation, which is likely valid. Nimrod, being a mighty hunter, and the skills that comprise of being a mighty hunter, would have served well in the building of his kingdom. Given the context of him being the first man with a strong, commanding leadership and the kingdom that he built, it is possible that hunting also refers to the eager taking of prey and the laying of snares for people as a means to build his kingdom. The building of Nimrod's kingdom. It is actually through the names of the cities of Nimrod's kingdom that much is revealed about the purpose and character of Nimrod. The names tell a story. Genesis chapter 10, verses 10 through 12. The beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. From that land he went into Assyria and built Nineveh, Rehoboth Ir, Calah, and Resen, between Nineveh and Calah, that is, the great city. The first city mentioned in the building of his kingdom is Babel. Babel means confusion or mixing. This becomes the heart or capital of Babylon. To come out of Babylon, Revelation 18:4, for example, means to come out of the confusion or mixing. The second city mentioned to be created by Nimrod is Erech, which means to lengthen, prolong, or live with. Thus, so far, the idea of Nimrod's kingdom is to lengthen, prolong, or live with confusion or mixing.
So you can see, he's going to paint the story pretty much with these the names of these cities, which Yashawamba, he goes into this, but Esau Edom, that's what he's trying to do, extend, his kingdom of confusion, man, today. All right. The brother Bayon Yasha'Allah, Job 14:5, seeing that his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou has appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Thou has appointed his bounds that he cannot pass, man. But Esau was trying to pass those bounds, man. You see? So he's gonna continue painting the story, with the names of these cities that Nimrod was building, man.
The next city mentioned to be created by Nimrod is Akkad. Akkad means subtle. It is also from an unused root word meaning a fortress or to strengthen. Thus, so far, the idea of Nimrod's kingdom is to subtly strengthen the living with confusion and mixing. So the question then becomes, How did Nimrod subtly strengthen the living with confusion and mixing? The next city created answers that question. The next city mentioned to be created by Nimrod is Calneh, which means fortress of Anu. Anu was from Sumerian culture and a god that many other gods derived from. So the centerpiece of the first phase of Nimrod's kingdom comprised of subtly confusing and mixing through a belief in a god called Anu. Through Anu, many other gods originated. From this point on, through Nimrod's kingdom, it became commonplace to believe in multiple gods. From there, Nimrod went into Assyria. The next city mentioned to be created by Nimrod is Nineveh. The Greeks/Romans attributed to this as the abode of Ninus. Ninus may or may not be the equivalent of Nimrod. Many of the extra-biblical understandings of Nimrod are based on the possibility that Ninus is Nimrod. The original meaning of the name is unclear, but may have referred to a patron goddess. The cuneiform for Nina is a fish within a house. This may have simply intended place of fish, or may have indicated a goddess associated with fish or the river itself, possibly.
And you know, all right, y'all remember they used to have those emblems, those little car stickers, bumper stickers that would have Jesus inside of like a fish. You know, I don't know if y'all remember. All right, but they have a emblem of Jesus inside of the fish. You know, if you brothers and sisters remember that, man. All this goes back to ancient Babylon, man. You go into the Roman Catholics, the Pope, all right, the hat that he wears is going into a fish, going into that guy Dagon, you know, and the god of the Philistines, which are what? Hamites, man. You know, descendants, all right, of all right, of this Hamitic, all right, empire, man. You see, all these things go back, because when you look at the major holidays of America, you have Christmas, which goes back to Nimrod. You see, the tree supposed to represents, you know, his resurrection. You know, his son Tammuz that he had with his wife/mother Semiramis represents the sun. All right. Supposedly, the Semiramis got pregnant by the rays of the sun and had Tammuz, man, which goes into what the winter solstice. All right, the birth of the sun in December. All right, you look at Easter. That goes back to the Semiramis. All right, which was Ashtaroth. You know, Ashtaroth. All right. So this generation of Nimrod is responsible for a lot of pagan traditions that are held fast today, especially, you know, within Christianity, man.
Possibly originally of Iranian origin. The city was later said to be devoted to the Ishtar of Nineveh, and Nina was one of the Babylonian names of that goddess. Regardless of how things progressed, it was through Nimrod that the idea of confusing or mixing began, starting with dedicating a city to the false god Anu. The integration of a new god that fathered as many as 50 or more other gods would be the opposite of the one narrow path of Yahweh. In fact, that development is reflected in the naming of Nimrod's next city. The next city mentioned to be created by Nimrod is Rehoboth-ir, meaning wide paths or streets. So what we may be able to biblically discern from Nimrod's kingdom is that he is the first emperor to subtly strengthen the living with confusion and mixing.
If a brother can post that in Matthew 7, I think 13 and 14, all right, going to what? Broad paths, man. You see? Nothing new under the sun, man. All right, and this is nothing but Esau trying to revamp this same energy in the earth, man. Something else I wanted to get real quick. Oh yeah, yep. Because Apostle Paul spoke with it, seeing when the disciple was going forth amongst, the Gentiles, the Israelite foreigners. The main thing that they were going against was what all these different gods, that these Gentiles was into, all these different gods, and that's one of the main things that the apostles, when they were sent out amongst the Gentiles, that they had to preach against all these different gods. And if a brother can also put 1 Corinthians chapter 8, all right, verse 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 4 and 5 and 6. All right, 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 4 through 6. Let's get this real quick. This is Yashima tribe of Judah. This is Matthew 7 and 13. Said, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth, all right, to destruction, and many there be which go in there. Yeah, because Esau has all these different avenues, my truth, your truth, and my truth, not your truth, and ain't no right, wrong. It's all according to it's subjective. It's subjective. You see, all this madness out here, man. There's a lot of people that's going on their broad path, man, which has no standard. See, the reason why the broad path is so popular because it has no standard. There's pretty much nothing judging you. All right. But see, there's straight gate, and the reason it's straight gate because we have to be obedient to our power within a society, that's anti-Messiah. We have to be obedient to the power that this world is against. That's why, this is the straight gate. All right. It's easy to be, it's easy to be in sync with this society, when you don't have a standard, when you don't have no knowledge and understanding of a higher power, you can, it's easy to maneuver in this society. All right. You can be anything. You can be, you can be a trans, a pedo. All right. You can be an atheist and, get along well, man. But, when you start confessing Yahweh Shema Shai, all right, then it's a problem. Verse 14, Matthew 7:14 said, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Yeah, it's only going to be a few whom the Lord is going to call into, being true worshipers, man. That remnant, that's going to endure that straight gate. This is on 1 Corinthians 8 and 4. It says, as concerning, therefore, the eating of things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and there is no other God but one. You see, this is what the Apostle Paul knew. They would have to reiterate to these Israelite foreigners because they was amongst these heathens that had all these different gods, man. And it said 1 Corinthians 8 and 5. This is for though there be that are called gods, all right, whether in heaven and earth, as there be gods many and lords many, all right. But to us there is one God, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, by whom are all things, and we by him. You see? So that the apostles will have to teach these Israelite foreigners, counsel out all those other false gods and deities, and there's only one higher power, all right, and only one begotten Son, one Lord, all right, of that power, which is Yahweh Shai.
He did this under the umbrella of the God Anu, which a plethora of other gods were developed. He changed the narrow path of Yahweh's instructions into multiple wide paths through multiple gods. And in this, the resilient strength of Nimrod's work was finished or completed, as indicated by the name of his next city. The next city mentioned to be created by Nimrod is Calah, meaning completion and resilient strength. Nimrod's completed finished work has a purpose. That purpose is indicated in the naming of his final city. The final city mentioned to be created by Nimrod is Raisin, meaning a bridle. The bridle is the headgear used to control a horse, consisting of buckled straps to which a bit and reins are attached. A horse is an animal that serves man. Thus, the purpose of Nimrod's kingdom was to offer instructive control over his servants through confusion and mixing of Yahweh's ways, and new ways dictated by a new god called Anu, which spawned multiple wide paths through the creation of gods that followed. It is this city of Raisin that is called the Great City, meaning the system of control outside of Yahweh's ways with mixing and confusion through the false god Anu and derivative gods is Nimrod's greatest achievement. Anu is often referred to as the father of the gods. This is the biblical profile of Nimrod. So what does it matter? It matters because we should not want to be like Nimrod. Confusion and mixing is what we are called to come out of. Revelation 18:4. We should examine our worship of Yahweh and be certain that we do not integrate ways coming from these false gods that all conceptually originated from Nimrod. In the next chapter of Genesis, chapter 11, we find that Yahweh confused all the languages from here, further illustrating that Babel is the centerpiece of mixing and confusion. The names of the gods that began with Nimrod would have become different names through the mixture of languages and dialects, but their origins would be the same. Deuteronomy 12. Take care that you not be ensnared to follow them, after they have been destroyed before you, and that you do not inquire about their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods, that I also may do the same? You shall not worship Yahweh your God in that way. For every abominable thing that Yahweh hates, they have done for their gods. For they even burn their sons and daughters in the fire to their gods. For example, there are elements of the traditions of these gods that may have penetrated the faith in the form of Christmas and Easter days and traditions. We hope that this teaching has blessed you. And remember,
So there you have it, man. There you have it, man. All right. Well, yeah, so all these different guys that we see, a lot of them originated from this, time period of Nimrod. And like he said, he made a good point. I didn't even think of it, but you know, when the language was confounded, that's when the names of these guys change, but it goes back to the same order. And that's why if a brother can put Jeremiah 2 and Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 11 through 13, you know. It's your brother Yashima tribe of Judah. This is Deuteronomy 10 and 17. Said, for the Lord your power is God of gods and Lord of lords. A great power, a mighty and terrible, which regardeth not persons nor take a reward. Yeah, so we finna see the Most High not regard persons on how he deals, with Esau Edom, man. He finna he finna come deal with this guy, man. Because Esau just wilding out, man. He got very beside himself, man. So the Most High gonna deal with him. All right. He's gonna show him the difference between God and man. This is on Jeremiah 2 and 11. It says, have a nation change their gods, which are yet no gods. All right. Talking about the heathen nation. Have they changed their false gods? No. They just come under different names now. But my people have changed their glory for that which doth not profit. Israel changed their God. We changed our power. These nations, they've been worshiping these same different idols under different names from the beginning. It said, be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be ye very desolate, said the Lord Yahweh. All right. Verse 13, it said, Jeremiah 2 and 13, for my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed out cisterns, broken cisterns. They cannot hold water, man. You see, because these doctrines and these philosophies not going to hold up to the judgment of Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. This place is about to be confounded, man. You see, Esau Edom is about to be confounded. The brother can post Psalms 73 and it's Psalm 73 and 16 verse. Yeah, Psalm 73 verses 16, 17, and 18. And we'll end it off there, man. You know, I just want to bring this to light. Because I said, what we finna see is Esau Edom make a big push, man. Because see, this whole thing of the pandemic, you see, that's done wore off, man. That's, you know, because going back to Bridle, that city resident, you see how much control this man was able to have when he pushed his propaganda of this whole pandemic, you know, this whole sickness that he was pushing. He was controlling people, man. That mask on him, that Bridle, you see. But it's like he's lost control of that narrative, and now, hey, ain't no telling what this man is about to do, you know, to try to get that control back, man. All right. Now, yeah, as a brother put, as a brother scribe for the master, Isaiah 4 and 28 says, I am Yahweh, that is my name, and my glory I will not give to another, neither praise to graven images, man. And that's what Esau wants to do. He wants to attribute, you know, the works of Yahweh Bashim Al Shah to these pagan, all right, and heathen gods, man. These idols, man. You see? This is the brother Yashima tribe of Judah, Psalm 73 and 16. It says, when I thought to know this, it was too painful for me. And what is, when you read this whole chapter, Psalm 73, all right, Asaph is pretty much complaining about the prosperity of the wicked, you know, but then he came to a conclusion. Verse 17, this brother Yasha Allah, Psalm 73 and 17 said, until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High, then understood I their end. You see, now we understand the end game to this wicked empire. All right, verse 18. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places, thou cast them down into destruction. Esau was set up to fail. He was erected just to fall, man. You see, this man was erected just to fall. All right. So this is the time we in, man. All right, Esau Edom is pushing extreme rebellion in the earth against a higher power, and it's gonna end bad for him, man. It's gonna be end very bad for him, you know. So I just want to put that out there, man. Lord will you brothers and you few sisters were edified. You know, I thought those videos would be interesting to go into, you know, kind of link up, you know, ancient Babylon with this, you know, modern Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. All right. So, Lord will you was edified. Till next time I say Shalom. Call me Ashala, Abab, Abal, DTA soon.